Ladies and gentlemen, hey, hi, how you doing? Welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for stopping by. Surprisingly, yesterday throughout the day, we actually had multiple different updates go live within Warzone and Modern Warfare 3, and we actually got some slight patch notes for these. It's not a crazy extensive list of all sorts of gameplay changes. It's just simply a couple of tweaks to general gameplay across each mode, but what they do change for being a relatively small update is pretty significant, all things considered. Yet another update that shows Sledgehammer is really going hard with updates based off of community feedback. We also have some new surprise leaks for some future content updates as well that tease some very interesting things. So lots to dive into here as we get into it. If you enjoy the video, do me a favor, drop a like on it. Much love to everyone who does take the time to do so. And if you're new to the channel or you simply have not subscribed yet, let's change that, because every single day I got you covered with news, updates, patch notes, meta breakdowns, and of course all the best loadouts. So feel free to hit that subscribe button and turn on those post notifications. But let's start first here on Raven's Twitter, because yesterday, for whatever reason, it's a different day from the usual updates on Wednesdays. We saw a playlist update go live in Warzone. Not sure why it was delayed a day, but it is what it is. Anyway, I digress. With this playlist update, we actually got a couple of interesting changes that has a lot of people talking for both good and bad. It also introduces something that we didn't really expect to drop. It's been a highly requested thing all season long, and it kind of just happened out of nowhere. So initially, as per what Raven said at the start of the season, all throughout season 1 from now until February, the entire season battle royale on Urzikstan is going to have every squad size. So we've got solos, duos, trios, and quads for that. Nothing out of the ordinary. Resurgence, things get a little bit interesting, and it seems like for the most part Resurgence players are not super thrilled with what was surprisingly changed here. We actually have Urzikstan POI rotation Resurgence for duos and quads. So if you have a 4-man party and you're looking to play Resurgence, you have to play Urzikstan. If you only have a duo and you're looking to play Resurgence, you have to play Urzikstan. And then for Vondel and Ashika rotation, for that we've got solos and trios. So if you're a trio and you really wanted to play Urzikstan Resurgence, no can do this week. They've split up those, and I know that's not something that the Resurgence community is thrilled about. I'm right there with them. I feel like we should have every squad size for Urzikstan Resurgence, and then also Vondel and Ashika map rotation. I get why they have the map rotation on there. They'd be just splitting up mode salad, basically, as they've referred to it as in the past, with, you know, solos, duos, trios, and quads for Vondel and Ashika. So I get the map rotation there, but splitting between Resurgence rotation on Urzikstan and then Vondel and Ashika just seems like it's gonna end with a lot of unhappy players. And then the big surprise update with this is actually the debut of Lockdown within Warzone this year. Obviously, we had this throughout Warzone 2, and it was kind of in and out with Plunder in the mix, but it's now live for Vondel quads exclusively, and it does in fact replace Plunder. And that's something that also has a lot of players very upset this week. There is no Plunder available until the foreseeable future. We don't know if it's gonna rotate with Lockdown every other week, or if one point both will be live at the same time. That's for the future to tell, but as of right now, it's just Lockdown live. And obviously, this is the closest thing we have to what is essentially team deathmatch within Warzone. This is Hardpoint, but Warzone slash Plunder sort of combined. It's respawns enabled, and you just have the various different hardpoint spots or hill spots on Vondel, and you can keep going back to those again and again until your squad wins. This means that it is great for, you know, trying to level up your weapons and get some quick weapon XP, or test out certain builds there, maybe complete some camo challenges, because it's a lot more action, I guess, oriented than Plunder, which has a bit more of an objective, but it's definitely very much so TDM like spawn, shoot, die, spawn, shoot, die, rinse and repeat there. But definitely a surprise playlist update there that I don't think many players saw coming, especially with the debut of Lockdown, which seemed like it was going to be reserved for Season 1 Reloaded. And well, we go through all that breakdown, and Raven now has updated the playlist yet again. Obviously, the complaints with Resurgence were there, and they heard it. They said, you wanted Vondel Resurgence quad, so it's back for the weekend. If you want it again next week, you'll have to participate in the community vote for next week's playlist on January 11th. Which of these dedicated Resurgence quads locations would you like to drop into? And they give us the option between Popov, Power, Orlov Military Base, the suburbs, or Vondel. So we can actually go through and choose if we want quads on Urzikstan in a specific POI or on Vondel for next week. But nice to see that they acted quickly on the distaste for the playlist this week and have already updated them. And then on the multiplayer side of things, Sledgehammer's also gone through with a brand new community-based update that's actually pretty significant. Initially, they did add gun game to the quick play filter in Modern Warfare 3, so that's always going to be live now. If you're a fan of that, that's obviously good news. But then this is the big one. Additionally, weapon check animations will no longer play upon respawn in small map playlists, allowing you to get back into the fight uninterrupted. So what this means is that whenever you spawn in after dying, you do your little weapon check inspect animation. It's like, you know, a second long or whatever, where your weapon is getting readied essentially. And it happens every single time you respawn. And if you're spawning into a hectic situation, you're not able to use your gun right away. Super annoying, can get you killed a lot. It's been a big complaint of the community over the past few weeks, and Sledgehammer comes back from break and immediately updates it. Now keep in mind, this is just for the small map playlist, so the various 24/7 playlists or any thing like that will have this active. Things like Ground War or other standard modes won't as of now, but clearly if it's positively received, it's likely something that'll be updated across all modes. But this is really cool that, again, it's been a huge complaint to the community recently, and they got right on it to go ahead and test it out in the small map playlist. So Sledgehammer, credit where credit is due. They're certainly meeting expectations when it comes to community engagement and responsiveness with their updates. Certainly a nice change of pace from what we've seen in recent years. Also, as I was in the middle of recording this video, we got a new slight mini update today that addresses the issue with the XP targets being completely incorrect for the new Vortex event. If you actually have the event tab, they've gone through and changed the XP target so you can accurately track the fact that you need 1.2 million XP to get that magma camo instead of like the 458,000 that it was showing. Keep in mind, they are still investigating the event tab not showing up, so that'll hopefully be fixed here shortly. Hey everyone, as we kick off 2024, one of my personal goals is to up my game, and I'm doing that with the help of my friends over at G Fuel. And with that said, I want to see you all up your game this year as well. And if you're looking to stay focused and energized, look no further than G Fuel. My go-to flavor to kick off the year, it's got to be Hype Sauce. This is a classic and OG and still one of my absolute favorites to this day. So maybe you're camo grinding, trying to break your PR in Warzone, whatever the case may be. If you want to pick up some G Fuel, code Immortal always has you covered with that nice discount at checkout, and the link for that will be down in the description below. Then, as I mentioned up towards the start of the video, alongside yesterday's surprise updates, we also got some surprise leaks regarding some future weapons for Modern Warfare 3 and Warzone. Forward leaks and then also Semtex leaks and Bob Network over on Twitter or X have been posting about these recently, and there's two new weapons that have leaked presumably for Season 2. The first of which actually indicates that it's very likely we're going to see a crossover event take place. It is a new sword, or a katana-like sword essentially, that's been leaked in the game files. And we also heard a while back that presumably within Season 2, we're going to see a crossover with Call of Duty and The Walking Dead. There is going to be a new spin-off Walking Dead show, The Ones Who Live or something like that, based around Rick Grimes and Michonne. And obviously Michonne's weapon of choice in the show is the sword, is the katana-like object there. So that would certainly line up. The leaks have said, the rumors have said that we're going to have a Rick Grimes operator and a Michonne operator, and I would not be surprised if that Michonne operator bundle then had a sword melee weapon in it, so you can slice and dice as you please. The second weapon is also very interesting. Obviously the sword is a melee, so it's only so cool. You know, melees aren't really the most popular thing. It's a pretty niche update. But then our second weapon is certainly interesting. It's definitely niche as well, but it is a brand new bow. However, it seems like it's going to be a bow that is quite versatile. It's not just like your average crossbow or something. According to the game files, which keep in mind could always be updated, changed, or scrapped, there's a bunch of different ammo types for it, including just the standard arrows, which would probably act as like just a base crossbow, right? There's rip arrows. We're not too sure what those would do. There's broad arrows, like broad tip. Maybe you can have like a wider hip fire spread with those or something. There's shotgun arrows, which to me definitely would be like it's a spread in some case, like pellets would be, but really interesting description there. There's an arrow type called HE, which might be high explosive or highly explosive, potentially. Explosive tip arrows, pretty self-explanatory. There's DB, I have no idea what that would be. Then also gas arrows as well, that would be toxic. So really interesting descriptions there. This would be obviously a very niche weapon as mentioned. Like, it's not gonna consistently outgun the top meta rifles and SMGs and LMGs, but you could have some pretty crazy clips, it seems like, with some of these ammo types that would certainly change up how you would approach gameplay and how the weapon would be, effective in certain situations there. So very curious to see how this evolves over time as we get official Season 2 information in the coming days and weeks, likely towards the end of January. But certainly some surprise details here today between yesterday's updates and these new weapon leaks. That is going to wrap things up, though. If you enjoyed the video, do me a favor, drop a like on it. And if you're new here, you want to guarantee you're always up to date with all things going on in COD, be sure to hit that subscribe button on your way out. But once again, thank you so much for tuning in, and until next time, take it easy, have an awesome rest of your day, and I'll catch you later. Peace out.